Welcome everybody to the new year. It is 2020. Resolutions are a thing that everybody's doing. Personally, I have a couple goals. I want to hit 20,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We'll see if it's possible. And then I have some other personal stuff I don't want to get into. But just as I did last year, now that it is a new year, I will tell you the movies I'm looking forward to most this year. I'll probably do a separate video about games because I do want more gaming content onto this channel. But this list is in no particular order, just movies coming out this year that I'm excited about for one reason or another that I will explain when I get to that movie. So let's get started. Number 10 is Gentleman. I think it's a Guy Ritchie film. It's got Charlie Hunnam. It's got Matthew McConaughey. It looks like it's kind of like a crime underground comedy with a little bit of action thrown in there, which I'm totally all for. It gives me Kingsman vibes, kind of, which I'm totally not against. I love Kingsman. The first one. The second one happened. But, yeah, I don't really know too much about it, but I want to see it. So let's move. Next, ironically enough, we have The King's Man, which is a sequel to Kingsman, which I guess shows like the origins and the founding of the Kingsman organization. I think it's supposed to be about Eggsy's father, like as the main story, which was pretty cool because at the beginning of the first movie you find out, well, not at the beginning of the first movie, but towards the end of the second movie you find out that Eggsy's father was with the Kingsman. Or no, you find that out in the first movie, but in the second one you find out that he died at the beginning of the first movie. I haven't been awake very long, I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't even party last night. I actually went to bed at a pretty reasonable hour. I just don't know what I'm doing anymore. But I think Matthew Vaughn is back at the seat on this one. And after this, we're going to get back on track with a proper Kingsman 3, which will be about Eggsy again, which I really just hope I hope Disney lets Matthew do whatever he wants on this movie and just make what he envisions as his proper Kingsman 3 because the last one, you could just see a big old Fox searchlight on it, and it was a little disappointing, but, you know, we'll just see. Next is Ghostbusters Afterlife. I'm just excited to get the proper Ghostbusters back after what happened last time. By proper Ghostbusters, I mean Venkman and Stantz and Winston. I know Egon, Harold Ramis isn't here anymore, but I think that's the premise of the whole thing, is that Egon's not around anymore, and so this is what's happening now as a result of that. Finn Wolfhard is getting a lot of work. I don't really know how I feel about him being in this movie. I don't care too much. It's kind of funny, though, because Stranger Things, as far as I can tell, the Stranger Things equivalent of the Losers Club loves Ghostbusters, and now Finn's in Ghostbusters, so that's pretty cool, I guess. Paul Rudd is amazing, so yeah, go see the movie. Go see it. Next up is Black Widow, not because I'm particularly interested in the arc or journey she'll have in this movie, but because Eric Masters, the Taskmaster, is finally the bad guy in one of these movies. I wanted him to show up on Daredevil. He didn't. He's here. And I'm fine with it. I am so happy. If he doesn't get killed, that means he could be on one of the Disney Plus shows in the future. He could be teaming up with Baron Zemo, and they can team up with Abomination, and they can team up with somebody else, and then boom, they have the Masters of Evil. Could you imagine? Masters of Evil, Dark Avengers, something? I mean, Justice League threw the idea of, the bad guys forming a team out into the wind, and then the DCEU flatlined. So I feel like you can just go ahead and swoop that idea and do a Masters of Evil. Please. Do the UFOs. I don't care. Just give me something. Next up is Dune. Not because I've read Dune or seen the original Dune. I actually do have Dune as an audiobook, and I should probably listen to it. But it's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who did Blade Runner 2049 and Sicario, which are two of my favorite movies, not just of the decade, but of my entire lifetime. Sicario is so good, and so is Blade Runner. It's miles ahead of the first one. The only problem is that it's a little slow in the beginning, which I expected Dune would be a little slow in the beginning because Sicario was a little slow in the beginning. So I'll be okay with that. It's got a star-studded cast from what I remember. It's got Josh Brolin, Oscar Isaac, Timothy Chalamet, a bunch of other people I honestly can't call to mind right now. But the cast is pretty freaking ridiculous. And honestly, sci-fi, Denis Villeneuve, they go hand in hand for me at this point after Blade Runner. And I can't wait to see what happens. Next up is Tenet. I don't know anything about Tenet. Not a thing. But it's directed by Christopher Nolan. It was enough for me when it came to Dunkirk. I thought Dunkirk was alright. It's enough for me now. I mean, The Prestige, Inception, Interstellar. How can you not think that these movies are freaking phenomenal? I don't love the Dark Knight trilogy, but I don't think Christopher Nolan is a poor filmmaker. I just don't think he should be adapting comic books ever again. But apart from that, I pretty much love everything he's ever done. Memento and Dunkirk are like kind of lower ranking for me, but as I said, Prestige, Inception, Interstellar, love those movies. I hope that Tenet gives me the same vibes as those three, because then it will go down in history as one of my favorites of all time. Moving on. Next up is A Quiet Place Part 2. I'll take sequels I never thought I wanted but absolutely need into my veins right now for 500, Alex. When I walked out of A Quiet Place, I really didn't see anywhere else to go. I honestly figured that the whole family got killed because, I mean, they'd eventually get overrun. You keep shotgunning these aliens, other aliens are going to end up here again. They're going to come to you. You're going to get overwhelmed, but I guess they found a way out. And now they're kind of just on the go, which is interesting because as far as I could tell, Lee, the dad from the last movie, John Krasinski's character, was like the major planner of the whole thing. And if you saw the movie, he ain't around no more. So it'll be interesting to see how the family gets by without him. I'm not going to say anything from the trailer that just came out, but you should absolutely definitely go watch that trailer that just came out. But yeah, I'm very interested to see what happens, where they go, and where we end up. Next is Godzilla vs. Kong. I love Godzilla. I love Kong. What else? I mean, it's probably going to be silly, because if you remember in Kong Skull Island, they said that Kong was still growing, even though he was already bigger than he'd ever been in that movie. This is so that they can justify him fighting this big-ass lizard, because Godzilla is huge. I mean, King Kong has always been big, but still he's big for an ape. Godzilla is skyscraper-sized and would step on King Kong without noticing, so they have to do some fuckery to get that to work out. But, what am I going to say? Wow, I'm a professional. I do this all the time, dude. I've done so many of these videos. I'm allowed to have some schlock on this list, okay? I've got Gentleman, I've got Kingsman, I got Tenet, I got Dune, I got Quiet Place. I'm allowed to put some Hollywood CGI schlock on this list, okay? I'm still human. We like our schlock sometimes. Leave me alone. Not everything I see has to be an art house film. Next is Onward, not because I think Pixar is particularly on a hot streak, but I mean, Chris Pratt and Tom Holland need to work together more. They were great in Infinity War. I'm sure they'll be great in this. And by and large, I do still love Pixar original movies, not so much their sequels. Although I did put Toy Story 4 on my top 10 best, so whatever. The Incredibles 2, Finding Dory, Cars 2, Cars 3. I don't know. There's just not a whole lot of magic behind them. Monsters University, for sure. Brave wasn't the greatest outing from them, and neither was Coco, but Inside Out was great. And that was like the last original thing that they did apart from Coco this whole decade, so we'll see. If it's as good as Inside Out, I'll be very happy. If it's as good as Brave, I'll take it, whatever, I don't care. I just really want it to be above Brave. Please be above Brave. Because at this point, I don't even know who's in charge of this one. I don't know if it's John Lasseter or Pete Docter. Please be Pete Docter. Oh my gosh, I really hope it's Pete Docter. And lastly, we have Sank de Hedgehog. I've never seen a studio actually bend like that before. I've never seen changes be made to a film because of fan backlash. And it's not like everybody was railing on the movie because we just wanted something to hate. But it's just we understand what Sonic is and what he's supposed to be. So when we saw that hideous fur child from the first trailer, like way back at the beginning of 2019, we were understandably upset. I mean, it was horrible. It was horrifying. But Paramount actually decided to pull back and get some new VFX artists and redesign Sonic. And he looks mostly like Sonic. I mean, of course, he's furry, which he's never been furry before. He's still got quills, which is cool. His eyes aren't supposed to be two eyes, but again, that's all nitpicking. You look at him, you see Sonic. He's Sonic now, and I'm very happy about that. And it's because of that I'm going to go see this movie. That and Jim Carrey as Robotnik sounds amazing. But before, I wouldn't have really been interested in a Sonic movie. But now that all these artists have had to work so hard to redesign Sonic and get it ready in time, I think I owe it to them to go see this movie. Not that I think it's going to be good, but because I'm very happy. And there you have it, folks. That is my top 10, I guess not top 10, but like 10 of my anticipated movies. Sorry Top Gun isn't there. Sorry Harley Quinn. Whoops. Sorry Birds of Prey and Wonder Woman and Eternals aren't there. Sorry I can't put more schlock. I'm probably going to see those movies anyway. But as far as me and what I'm interested in, what I'm looking forward to, that's the list. Sorry. Let me know what you're interested in, anticipating and excited to see this year. And I'll get back to you in 3 to 5 business days.